This is a code walkthrough for the example file LoopingWhileEndless.java. This file is kind of nice because it shows some very simple examples of a couple different flavors of endless while looping all in one file. I think this one is a little more effectively demonstrated rather than gone through with a debugger, so I'm just going to go ahead and compile this and we will run this and see what happens. In this first example, we've got a while loop, and as long as the temperature is greater than or equal to 75, we're going to continue looping. Now, this temperature is initialized to 90, so as you might expect, we're going to get an endless loop out of this. So let's run this, and we're endlessly cycling through this loop and printing this message out. The reason this is an endless loop is that nothing happens to temp F to ever change its value from that initial value of 90. So we've got this endless loop. And as we said in the lecture materials, really the only way to address this at this point is to punt. We need to hit the end button, stop, and try again. So the question is, how would you go about fixing this? Well, how about if we did this? We need to pull this temperature down to where it's eventually less than 75 degrees. So let's pull it down by 0.5 degrees at a time. So let's save this, recompile it, run it, and here we go. We've cycled through this enough times to bring the temperature down to 75 degrees. We bring the temperature down by another 0.5 degrees, and when we come back around to check the loop condition, this loop fails because now the temperature is eventually going to be less than 75 degrees. And that brings us to our next example. In this one, we're prompting the user to enter a price, and that's coming from this prompt right here, and we're being prompted for the cost of some item. So let's just say it's $100 for round numbers. Then we enter the while loop with this item cost greater than 0, and as long as the cost of the item is greater than 0, the total amount is going to get incremented by that amount, and we initialize that total to 0. And as you might imagine, this is going to go haywire. However, it's going haywire quietly and internally. This is a different kind of endless loop because it appears that our program is hung and unresponsive. But internally, things are just cycling out of control. We can't see that because we've got no visibility into this loop. So, same as before, let's end this and let's enable this line right here to get some internal visibility. Let's clear this, save it, recompile it, and run it again. So this was the temperature example that's run to completion. And let's enter an item price again of 100, and now we can see what's happening inside. This total cost is just skyrocketing by $100 at a time. And now we can see what's quietly going on under the hood. This is a double, so it's going to take an awfully long time for this number to overflow. So this is the other kind of endless loop, and now it's not so silent anymore. So again, let's end it and see what we could do to fix it. This is an endless loop because there's no update read. So let's enable these two lines, and now we've got that update read, and we're giving this item cost a chance to become less than 0 and terminate this loop. So once again, we'll save it, recompile it, run it. $100, total cost is 100. 100 again, we keep upping the tally. $55, $67, $42, etc., etc. But if we finally enter a number that's less than 0, or actually 0 for that matter, that would satisfy this condition and make it false. Then we give this a chance to terminate the loop. And we get on to the third example. In this case, we're demonstrating an endless loop that represents a situation that we might want to have sometimes. In embedded systems programming, it's very common to have individual tasks implemented with a while loop with some permanent true condition. So this task, this placeholder print representing whatever the task is doing, this is under the control of some larger RTOS, which is going to time schedule execution of these. So in this case, it's really not a runaway situation like the other ones. But this is a case where we would potentially want to have an endless loop for each task. And this is okay in this context. Okay, so look this over, play around with it a little bit, and this just shows a couple different forms of endless loops. A very obvious one, a very quiet and subtle one, and one that we actually might want in certain contexts.